What is going on? Welcome to Facebook Live. We've already started talking to, yes, the big baller shot caller. You better follow her.
Baller shot caller, and then also we have to pay homage.
What is
First girl ever on the podcast as a guest?
It's
Really?
a little crazy.
First girl ever.
Oh gosh.
Congratulations.
No pressure.
First woman, first girl.
First woman,
okay.
first girl. Right, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hashtag
Everyone's
like a girl.
equal. It's a beautiful thing. We're super excited. Sims, you literally just walked in.
Yes.
I'd like to welcome the people of Facebook. Can we get a quick shot of really stressed out producer Josh? Is that possible?
And wearing my mint shirt. What do you call this?
He looks like an Andes mint. You remember those
Yeah, I
things?
remember you
those
said
are
this
so
before.
good.
They're very good.
Yeah.
I would eat like 15 and be like, I shouldn't
And
have
you
eaten
get them at
any
like
of
a steakhouse or whatever, and you
Yes.
like take 10 and like throw it in your bag.
Yes.
So it's a compliment
Unfortunately,
that I look like Andy's mints.
No,
yeah,
we look ridiculous.
you're a pain in the ass and not nearly as delicious. So, sorry.
So Facebook Live, as always, put your comments, questions below. Plus, this is the podcast, which
Right.
is like, oh.
I didn't know we were going Facebook Live.
What is really awesome, Alex, gold medalist, World Cup champ, all 11, all-time U.S. women's national team, super cool. But my first question, is it more likely that Jon Snow marries Daenerys or kills Daenerys? What do you think?
Marries.
Marries Daenerys.
Really?
Which is kind of weird because they could be like half
They could be
half
related.
sibling. Yeah, like.
But that's okay
But that's
with
like
Game of Thrones.
how it works in there.
So weird. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
I
it's
wonder how
really
it'll
deep
work
in
out.
Game of Thrones.
So you're
What do
really
you think? What do you think?
I think that he's going to end up killing her.
Oh.
I do. What's amazing?
Like, why
the-
wouldn't she kill him?
She does have dragons, but Jon Snow doesn't die ever.
Oh,
but
the
here's
show
the, here's
of
the reason
rape
this is
and
fun.
pillaging
So-
strikes again.
Sims does not like Game of Thrones. He hates Game
And
of Thrones.
you've tried it out like a full season.
No, I have not.
Okay,
I don't
see,
even
that's
hate
the
it.
only
Dad,
reason why
I don't hate it.
His dad
I don't hate it.
is on Game of Thrones. 1-1, the Giant, was named after his dad, Phil Simms, because George R.R. Martin was a huge Giants fan, and 1-1 was his dad's number. His dad is 1-1, and he doesn't watch Game of
1-1 as an
Thrones.
11. Did he die though?
That is
Yeah, he
just-
just died.
Because I heard you guys say that last week.
He
Like, oh,
died.
sorry about that.
And he doesn't watch. I don't get it.
No, that's not right.
Well, like I said, this started back when we did not even do video. The first few times I ever turned on Game of Thrones was a rape scene or they were killing and pillaging people. That's all there was. It was like, geez.
And
Here
is there
in the
something wrong
foreground's a
with that,
conversation.
like,
In the
in
background,
TV?
there's somebody getting raped.
I mean, that's Game of Thrones for you,
Yeah,
but
okay.
well, a certain part like Dothraki.
Yeah, exactly.
Only like Dothraki, but you have no idea what we're talking about right
No,
now.
I
so
don't.
it's
No, but the
fine.
fact that you're casually dropping Dothraki, I
Yeah.
appreciate that very much.
How do you feel right now?
How do I feel right now?
How do you
Well, her
feel?
Cavs won the title. She's getting ready for the Olympics.
Yes, that's exactly. That's where I
Yeah.
was going. I didn't know about the Cavs thing. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
realize
I
that.
did some Twitter searching. I found out more about Alex Morgan.
What? That I'm a LeBron fan?
Yes.
Me too.
He's the
I'm
biggest
head of the
LeBron fan ever.
bandwagon.
I mean, I was torn though because like Steph Curry, like I went to college at Cal, so
Yeah.
like I was so torn, but I had to go with LeBron, and
No,
they
right.
pulled through.
I feel like a lot of athletes really appreciate LeBron because with athletes, you're always dealing with pressure or perspective or people's paradigm that you should be doing something. And then so when LeBron goes in there and puts all that on his back, I think every athlete's like, man, what
Yes.
he went through is incredible.
It is incredible. You have to respect it.
What you're going to go through is going to be amazing, going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm curious, you guys, when you guys won the World Cup, I mean, that's all anyone talked about. It was incredible. So many guys on the basketball team, wherever they go, they're stars. Michael Phelps is like the biggest one ever. I'm curious, when all of USA travels together, who's the one person or team or athlete that you look at each other and go, wow, that's that person? Do you think it's you guys? Who do you think, who's the biggest one?
I don't know. When we were in London last Olympics, I feel like I went to the men's basketball semifinal and the final and
Sure.
watched them win gold, and I feel like that was like the cool. Like I really wanted to go see them win
Sure,
gold. So
right.
like for me, it was men's basketball. Like I met Pau Gasol, and I was a big Lakers fan growing up. So I
That's
was
so
like,
cool.
oh, this is awesome, you know. So I guess the basketball team
And they
was.
stick out. I mean, they're so freaking tall. those
Like
guys.
literally,
You're
I was
like-
hugging his butt. I was like, "This
Yeah.
is kind of awkward, but
I
I'm
hear you.
doing it."
It's shocking. People don't realize how tall NBA players are until you get around it. Even the guys that come in the
Yeah,
office
because
are
they're
just
all
like,
so tall, like
Right.
on the court, that you're like, "Oh, Steph
I'm the
Curry's
short
like
one
a
at
midget,"
6'5".
and you're like,
right,
"Yeah."
right.
And Steph Curry's like as tall as you
He's
are.
as tall as me, exactly
Which
right.
you're like, he's so short, and then
Yeah.
you realize, wow.
This actually leads into like a Sims and Lefkoe podcast topic that we always do all the time is like the size and makeup and build of athletes. When you really see them, it's like incredible. Like I went and just was on the road with Devontae Freeman, running back with the Falcons, and he's like 5'9", but his neck is like the size of my torso. And I go, you're physically built different. And I was curious, I think you're going to like this question. When you see the athletes from other countries, do you see like a similar build or like a different build from each country and kind of go, wow, like it's interesting how human beings are put together.
Which one impresses you? What group of teams? I do like that question. I was going to ask that. Thanks
I mean, obviously the Russian athletes, because it's not natural how they're.
They're obviously cheating. You're right. No, they are cheating flat out.
Well, that's
so,
like
the hell
worst
Russia
thing when that
crap.
happens. It's hard to ever have credibility again because you look and you go, I wonder. Even if they're not, you just gotta go, I wonder.
Right.
No, but I think like footballers in general, like soccer players in general,
You can
like
say football.
You got it.
like outside of the U.S., I feel like all of the best athletes play football, like outside of the U.S. So like these guys, like in the English Premier League and everything, they're like tall guys, like huge, like guys, like who do you have? You have Gareth Bale, or
a monster.
and they're like. These players like wouldn't be playing soccer in the U.S.
Like
they would,
football.
they would play like other sports. But you have these guys like these center backs who are 6'6" or whatever it might be, and so it's interesting to see the difference between.
Who's the most?
But the heck with the guys. I want to know the girls.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I want to know the girls. Like what? Like did the German girls stick out?
Yeah,
they stick
German
out?
players are all pretty tall,
well
pretty
built.
straight.
How would you
very
guys
strong.
say the U.S. ranks just in terms of physicality in the world?
Pretty up there.
Yeah.
I'd say like Germany, England.
What's Brazil look like in person when you see them? Are they kind of just a smaller, speed-oriented type of team?
Yeah, they're smaller.
Right.
Yeah, they're skinnier. Yeah.
Just one more thing while we're on the talk of like training. I mean, of course you're in phenomenal shape, but like, do you lift weights?
Yeah.
Like what kind of weights? Like you do power cleans and squats and that kind of
totally.
stuff? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, those are kind of like the only, like kind of Olympic bar weight lifts we do.
Right.
Yeah, for the other stuff, it's mostly like body weight, or we'll use like bands, like band work.
Sure.
We'll do some like dumbbell stuff or kettlebell stuff, but yeah, cleans and like squats are like the only like
The
heavy
ultimate
lifting that we do.
athletic weightlifting.
Exactly,
Yes.
yeah.
What's amazing also is I hope people realize, and I think they do just by the support you guys got with the World Cup, women's soccer in America, the fact that there's been 5 like Olympics that have had it, and you guys have won 4 of them, just is incredible. And I'm curious, what is it like to be a part of a history like that? And what do you think about that when you're getting ready for the Olympics?
Yeah, it's incredible. I think what's different is like our mindset for Olympics. For a lot of other countries, they're like, oh, the World Cup is like the top and nothing could ever compete with it. But for us, like I grew up watching the Olympics more than the World Cup, I guess.
Sure.
So for me, it's like the Olympics means like just as much. Like maybe it's not like the top of like the World Cup, because obviously that's just based on soccer and that brings like a nation, the whole world together for one sport, which is pretty incredible.
Right.
But I grew up watching Olympics, and I feel like our mindset is the same going into a World Cup and Olympics, and I feel like that's not necessarily the same for other soccer teams.
Yeah.
I would also say, like, as an athlete, we always talk about daily focus, every day getting better. If you're getting ramped up for the World Cup and it's a drop off for the Olympics, I feel like that's a non-athlete mentality. I feel like athletes are like, I'm going to treat everything. Who is your biggest competition for this Olympics that we can start rooting against?
I think honestly like Brazil, because for the first time they kind of started like a residency program, and the federation has never really paid as much attention to the women's team as the men's team. So now having a residency program, some of those girls have been training together like for a year, which has like never happened before for Brazil. So I think that's going to be huge for them and help elevate their game. And obviously France is in our group, and France is like just keeps climbing the ladder, and they have just missed the top 3 teams. Missed like the first, second, and third place in the last 3 tournaments. They've gotten 4th place like every tournament. So it's like, when are they going to break into the top 3?
To me, I think the Olympics is fascinating because I think of all these incredible athletes all in one spot, and I always say he's weird because he played in the NFL. I think athletes, naturally, their brains work differently. And I'm curious, I know you're working with Always and you're working with young women.
Yeah.
What age did you realize, every day I wake up, I'm going to put everything into this. Every day I wake up, I'm going to be, like, when did you realize that you wanted to be great?
I think like I realized that I was just different when I was like 14 or 15 years old, and like high school was starting, and there was so much more opportunities for like social settings and like going out and doing things. And I was like, no, I got to go to bed early because I have a game in the morning.
Right.
Like it's like those sacrifices that you make that like most high schoolers would
Don't
never
do it.
make.
I hear you.
You know?
Did you realize it was different that you were doing that?
It was just like a way of life. It wasn't like,
You knew
oh,
on a
I'm going to
Friday night.
sacrifice for this. It was like, no, I'm not doing that because I have a game in the morning. Like,
Exactly.
what? Like, why
Right.
would I do that? It was
Right.
just a way of thinking. I don't know. There wasn't another option. Like, it was like, this is how I'm doing it. It's not like I could choose A or B. It's like, this is
No,
what
I've
I'm-
chosen to be great
Yeah.
at soccer. I have a chance to be great at that. I can wait to go out and drink on a Friday night and drink 3 beers in a few years from now when
Yes.
it's time. But
Yeah, and I think that's a
people-
different way of thinking, but it's not like you don't give yourself like an option, like 2 options. It's like, this
It
is the
starts
way
with
I'm
one
doing
option.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Please, the reason we're getting to talk to you is because of Always and what you're doing with young girls and trying to keep sports and athleticism in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to hear more about what you're working on.
Yeah, I feel like playing team sports is just so huge growing up. I mean, I did like try tennis or whatever, but like for me, team sports is where I learned so much, and especially confidence. Confidence was kind of like the base of all of it, and that's what helped me continue to want to be successful and want to play pro soccer and feel like I was going to be on the national team when I was 12 years old. Like, who thinks that? Well,
Yeah.
I did, you know, and so I feel like playing team sports just like teaches you things that you can't learn otherwise.
Yes.
And it helps teach you things that you're gonna apply like in like day-to-day life.
Definitely.
So for me, like teaming up with Always Like a Girl campaign, it was authentic for me. It felt like natural for me to speak about, and I just want to like empower girls to keep playing sports and feel confident doing so.
I wish my little girl would listen. I have a 10-year-old, a little girl, and she doesn't play sports, and she could be a phenomenal athlete. All she wants to
She's
do is
got the
ride
genes.
horses, and yeah, she's tall. She's one of the fast. She's the tallest in her class. She's one of the fastest in her class, but she could care less, and
Yeah.
it hurts me because of like what you said. People, I think, lose sight of that. All the great life lessons team sports teach you, right? Discipline, how to be humble, how to work with other people from different environments. I mean,
There's a restaurant next to my apartment,
Yeah.
and there's 2 bartenders, and I've talked to them, and they play basketball.
Right.
And we were talking about how when you play sports with someone,
Yeah.
your opinion of them completely changes because
Definitely.
you see their real personality when you're out there. Are you reliable? Are you
Right.
egotistical? Do you shoot every shot? Do
Right.
you pass a lot? I think
There's not really time to think, so like
Yes.
instinct comes out, and it's it really shows.
What
who
was
you
this?
are.
I just want to
Ask
go
your
into.
question. I have a really serious question.
Yeah. Okay.
after
Cool.
one.
This is
super serious.
Well, what was your feeling? You know, with the whole, the men's soccer team being paid more money than, of course, the women. Whether I think it was the World Cup when it came to that, right? Am I
Yeah,
wrong there?
yeah.
But I mean, that would piss me. It actually pisses me off now. I mean, let alone then. But how does that make you feel as a woman who's, of course, establishing her career in sports?
I think it's tough to swallow, and I think that's why we like put up this complaint for equal pay, just because we saw those numbers and we were like, this is not right. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like, I don't want to put down like the men and
Yeah,
their
yeah.
success,
It's
because
not
like
about them.
they fought hard for the compensation they get, and
Right.
so kudos to them. And now it's our turn to fight as well, and I feel like we should fight together to like continue pushing on the growth of soccer and the payment. I mean, I'm just looking for us to continue taking responsibility and telling other people that they need to take responsibility too. They need to do what's right, and that's stepping up and paying us, whether that's equal or fair. I'm looking to get what's equitable for women's soccer, and I think it will help in sports in general. Like, I'm looking at women like Robin Wright. I don't know if you watch House of Cards.
Oh
but
my gosh.
Sean Penn's
Yeah.
old wife, you mean though?
No, well, Robin Wright was in Forrest Gump. She was Jenna.
Sean Penn's old wife.
I guess so, but then
Right.
she's also Claire Underwood in House of Cards.
Love House of
Dude,
Cards. But she's
This is awesome.
she's someone who like spoke up and was
She
like,
did.
I could have taken less, but I said no, I'm gonna walk away if you don't pay me what I feel like is
Kevin Spacey's-
deserving.
yeah.
And so they did. They coughed it up, and she was
Because
like,
let's be real,
now
Claire
I know.
Underwood was just as important as Frank Underwood last season.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if not more.
Or
Totally
more.
agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I mean, that's just one example of like women
I agree.
stepping up and being like, this is what's right.
Yeah.
And people being like, you're right.
I think what's really interesting is I talk a lot about new normals where 20 years ago it was like, oh, like this is really, cigarettes are okay. And I was like, no, it's not. And I think unequal pay for women is something that I think people didn't think about, and it was happening and they just never paid attention to it. And now it's becoming a topic that we're seeing brought up at award shows. We're seeing actresses bring it up. We're seeing athletes
Yeah, what's
talk
her name
about
brought
it.
up, the actress?
The
She did
one
a
that
good
won.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think.
From
She's from
Boyhood.
Kentucky, right.
But I think it has to happen because it's
Yeah.
only right. It only makes sense. And look what you guys did for the country after you guys won. Look at your teammates and how big they deserve equal pay. One more time, the Always campaign. Please let people know what they can do, how they can be a part of it, and once again, kind of tell everyone. what
Yeah,
they need
you
to do.
guys can be a part of it by doing hashtag like a girl and kind of pledging how you can help boost confidence of girls and keep girls playing sports.
Keeping confidence, building confidence.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hashtag like a girl.
Hashtag like a girl, like a boss. Awesome. Alex, thank
Love
you
it.
so much.
Thank you guys so much for having
Thank
me.
you
Seriously.
guys. Have a great day with media. We're just going to have you walk off and we're going to keep talking.
Hey, just
Cool.
it's all downhill from here on out. I mean, we're kind of the
I know,
coolest, and then
right?
everybody else is going to be like,
This was
So
fun."
what about the Zika virus? That's what you're going to get ready.
Pretty much.
Okay.
What
I
is
have my
your answer for the
right.
Zika virus?
Once I step on soil in Rio, my focus is on winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
Great.
That's right. Go whoop some butt, whoop some ass.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Great to see you too. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Bye.
Great to
Have a
meet
good
you,
one.
Alex.
See you guys.
Good luck with
Kick
everything.
some butt.
When you leave for there?
July 27th.
July 27th.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Got it?
I'm like
I don't.
struggling to do
Yeah,
to do
it's all right. This is fun. We'll put this on the
Yes.
podcast for sure. Yep.
Like this.
See
See you
guys.
later. Be good.
She was awesome.
She was awesome.
She was really, really cool.
Right.